Welcome to the Out of Control show with Rusty J and Kent C. Straight. It's about to get dangerously dangerous.
Welcome to the Out of Control show, folks.
Hi-de-ho.
So, what's out of control today, Kent?
Well, it just never ends. There's so much out of control. Let's run down a quick list here. Well, I hear that things... Definitely what's out of control is things are escalating a little bit in the Ukraine and Russia conflict.
Yeah, absolutely, Kent. Things are heating up there, and sounds like could be more players jumping into this conflict. And rumor has it, Mr. Biden has given the Ukrainian army the go-ahead to use more advanced weapons that can now take this conflict right to Russia itself. So now I guess the Russians are going to have to fear about rogue attacks and missiles falling out of the skies. It's kind of like the Ukrainians, and things are stepping up. Unfortunately, I think Putin has said if that starts happening, then he's going to escalate things to more on a global scale, and the people that are now, I guess, NATO members are at risk of having things happen. So, yeah, that's totally out of control there, and we also have China and Taiwan, and that's tensions are rising there, and
they always are.
They always are, but hey, how many wars can the U.S. support at one time?
Lots.
Especially if it turns into a global conflict.
They just go into debt for it.
You betcha.
But they have their ulterior motives.
Right. And
well, you know what else is out of control? What's this new disease X or this new thing that's coming out?
Well, sounds like the birds are sick, bro.
Oh, we got another avian flu?
Yeah, you bet. They're spreading they're down with the sickness. So now,
whoa.
Supposedly it went from chickens to cows.
No bats this time.
No bats. We left out the bats, but we're still in the animal world. And then from cows now to a couple humans. And
are they lactating?
Well, I don't know if these folks are doing so well, and but I guess everybody's up in arms that now they're going to start PCR testing cattle. That's the last I heard that was trending. And I don't know what that means. They're going to be running around sticking things. And if your herd is found to be
they would eliminate
infected, you got to call them. So watch out there, fellow, farmers and cattle ranchers, because sounds like they're coming after your herds. And how far is this going to be Canada, the U.S.? I'm expecting it to kind of spread all over, kind of like COVID did, and to escalate. We'll see. Hopefully not. And hopefully nobody else gets sick. Because 3 people, I think one in Mexico, a couple in the U.S. Like there's only a few people, but you know how it works. The last time it'll get blown out of proportion.
So this is like another avian or swine flu.
Yeah, it's a
combination.
Well, it would be an avian,
but then
bovine,
it went through, right?
Because it's now mixing with the cow, and then from the cow. So we gonna
chicken burgers.
Are we gonna get mad chicken flu or what?
Jesus.
We don't know what's going on. It's somebody's cooking something up in a lab, I'll tell you. And there's still nobody's talking about the espionage. The espionage. That's still the silence on that front, bro. But
you know what else is? Yeah, you know what's out of control is right now in Canada, we have either past or current politicians, federal MPs, that have wittingly traded or given or taken information from foreign countries.
And young generation like Prime Minister Trudeau, President of Argentina, and so on, that we penetrate the cabinets.
And I think the countries that they were nailed down to were perhaps either India or China. But they
Not
refuse.
China, bro. Come on.
They refuse to give us their
Come
names.
on. Not the guys responsible for the Kung Flu.
But even the conservatives have been a little quiet on this because not only has China interfered in our elections, whereas they tried to get certain liberals elected. I've heard rumors. There's no proof yet because they haven't shown us anything. But I have seen a couple of different sources just mention that the conservatives have also been a little bit quiet because there may have been some interference in some conservative leadership races. Because just like China wants weak liberal leaders who will just agree and like to be to their China's advantage, they want, not the strongest or anti-China, not that anyone's anti-China per se, obviously, with the pandemic and everything. They just
I would
right?
definitely be cautious about these folks. They don't have our best.
We don't know
interests.
for sure because
Come on,
like while just after being elected, it's in the security report, and surprisingly, the media is talking about it, which is quite surprising.
They have no choice because people are talking about it and there's evidence. And the unfortunate part is we're not seeing the authorities
that we penetrate the cabinets.
Doing anything. There's no action. There's nobody. And this isn't the first time that we heard about this. Has been, this has been talked about now for 6 months now, maybe even. When did this actually all start? Like when did they know that this was going on? How many years ago? We're just finding out now, right?
Yeah.
So it's pretty sad that the RCMP, the media, nobody catches wind of this and blows it out and starts talking about it. No, some two dudes on YouTube have to sit in their living room and get the conversation going and talk about this and aware our fellow Canadians that, hey, our government's out of control. Like the money that they're wasting. Treason.
We're talking treason.
How many levels of treason though? This is the scandal of the week, bro. You know what I mean? Like we could have a show alone, just do a show of scandal of the week, Justin Trudeau. And I'm telling you, we would have content for years because for the last 8 years, it's been every week. This guy's been tied to something. There is so many things we can't even keep track. It's either he's wasting our money or he's, signing us up for something somewhere,
Well,
he's out of control, bro.
Here's Criminal Code 1985 C46. High treason. There's different levels of treason. High treason is someone who kills or attempts to kill Her Majesty or does her bodily harm, tending to death or destruction, maims or wounds her, or imprisons or restrains her. So that would be obviously Queen Elizabeth. So that would be changed to the king, him, they, them,
King Charles,
whatever. He's
betcha.
Anyone who levies war against Canada or assists an enemy at war with Canada. That's high treason. Then there's
So let me ask you, would that be some of these groups that are demanding certain things, and if they don't get it, that they want to wage war against Canada or
it's
our
tough
government?
because like if you're using say Israel and Gaza and the Palestinians as say a recent example, we have funded, trained, or supplied both sides at some point or another.
Absolutely,
either directly or indirectly. So it's hard to say, like, if you're going to nail somebody for, like, high treason, you assisted our enemy, when, in fact, most conflicts, directly or indirectly, were helping both sides. You got to purposely be going out to nail that person.
Absolutely.
Because, let's be honest, we're either... If we're not giving weapons to these guys who then sell it to somebody who's fighting our allies, or how, I think they said like 70 or 80% of the weapons that were in total that have been sent to Ukraine get diverted to black markets and different destinations. So,
Oh yeah, or they get hit by attacks, right?
or yeah,
Russian
convoys wiped out.
getting wiped out.
Well, that's high treason. Okay,
Right.
so we're talking war, serious threat to Canada. Then there's regular treason. Regular treason uses force or violence for the purpose of overthrowing the government of Canada or a province. Without lawful authority, communicates or makes available to an agent of state other than Canada military or scientific information or any sketch, plan, model, article, note, or document of a military or scientific character that he knows or ought to know may be used by that state for a purpose prejudicial to the safety or defense of Canada. I
Wow.
read that one in its entirety because I believe that's the one that would apply to some treasonous bastards who are like, we know we're getting sold out left, right, and center.
Yeah, we know that.
But now we got perhaps just
Proof?
Well, they haven't provided any proof. That's
Right.
the problem. Now, this
So
isn't.
why wouldn't they, Kent? Like,
Yeah,
does that just show guilt? I don't know. When you scold a kid and you ask them, "Hey, what did you say? What did you just do?" and they say, "I don't know," but you really know they know. Are we? Is that what we're dealing with here? These
well, here's
they've been asking questions and. Nobody's given any answer.
Yeah,
nobody's given the MPs.
It's-
Nobody's talking about who, what, where, or when.
It's-
And
Tina and so on, so that we penetrate the cabinets.
it's
and-
so fucked what they actually talk about though.
they asked Freeland about this, and she started talking about the Edmonton Oilers.
And abortion.
Right.
She's like, but the conservative,
So
like, they're desperate when.
so at what point? So at what point here in Canada do we not have a fail safe? You know what I mean? For a government, for the people, because I keep saying, and I've said this for years, my friend, but truly, we are the government, and I'd like everybody to realize that and remember that. And people like these are just representatives. That's all they are. That's all who they are.
That's
They're
all they're
on the payroll to work for Canada and Canadians.
Who they're supposed to be.
Right. Isn't the way the system works? Isn't that what they call democracy? So when you have the scandal of the week always having and nobody's accountable, then there has to become a point where you can say, hey, enough's enough. Obviously, the opposition, good on Pierre, and he does voice a lot of concerns, but he's not voicing the right ones. And in my opinion, and maybe there's just too many to voice in the amount of time that he
you
has
have to be
voice,
careful
right?
too. You have to be careful.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, if he's just going to skate around and be politically correct, there has to come a point where there has to be a third party, be it the military, be it whoever, maybe the RCMP, but they're bought and paid for right now, so they're not reliable. So who can say, hey, listen, this government is out of control. They need to be shut down. They need to be taken down. I don't know how many acts, like when they brought out that gentleman there, I can't remember his name, and maybe you guys can, put it in the comments below, who was responsible, I believe, for ArriveCan, and he was too anxious to actually answer any questions at this so-called hearing, and he sat there and he had a note from his doctor, dude, a freaking note. Like the guy had stole. If you had stole the amount of money he had stole, you'd be, dancing with Bubba in the Crowbar Hotel, brother. That's I'm telling you, man. This shit is so out of control.
Yeah, if I stole it, yeah.
Yeah, if you stole it.
Yeah,
But this
like
guy
a regular Joe, yeah.
He robs us for
Yeah.
millions of dollars. Us, you, me, and everybody else, people, not just freaking, not just, somebody. It's us. Us. And what happens to this guy? There's no accountability. Like he comes with a doctor's note.
Yeah, but let's be honest.
What kind
too,
of
though,
horse shit is that?
That's also government. I would blame the government more so in that. Like you could call a guy whatever he wants, and he may be. I don't know the fella. But if I knew I could do something for $50,000, but I gave the government of Canada a quote for $5 million, and they accepted it, I'd be high-fiving. We'd be going out for lobster and shit.
He did F all, bro.
No,
he didn't do a damn thing. And
they
we got
created something. They created something. It was just a shitty app for way overblown pricing. Where like even Pierre himself said that 2 college students recreated it for like 80 grand or something and some pizza over a weekend. So yeah, we got we got fucking hosed.
Totally.
But I'm not putting it all on that one guy, because if I can make something,
Oh no, absolutely,
and sell it to the government for a retarded amount of money, and they say yes, we're high-fiving.
That's right. But where's the accountability, like you say, on the government's end for allowing this guy to soak us for that, like millions of dollars?
Here's the thing.
And, okay, so if that's just one example.
I know.
What is this housing program that we talked about before look like, and what kind of backdoor deals and laundering deals are going on with this stuff? Like, I bet you dollars to donuts that certain political officials are becoming heavily invested in home building right now. You know what I mean?
Well,
and in that world, because why wouldn't you? It just seems to be the trend that's happening, right?
Like I do know a little bit about building, and I do know, Canada, we build about 220,000 homes a year, and the Liberals plan to get that just under 4 million homes in like 6 years. That was 550,000 homes, I believe, a year. So we'd have to double what we're producing now. And that ended up being one house completed every minute. Like I did the math and I broke it down by day, hour, minute. So Canada would have to complete one home build every minute for the next hours, days, weeks, months, and 6 years, nonstop, 24 hours a day to hit that goal. We just do not have enough tradespeople.
Well, never mind, we don't have enough. And the ones that we do are a lot of them are at the point of retirement. And let's just face it, this trades are usually hard on these people. And, we don't have the people to back these up. So we're about to lose a lot of experience. And
there's a lot of like 55, 60-year-olds ready to go.
And nobody's replacing them. Well, and not at the numbers that should be for the demand that we require. So are we going to start now bringing people in from other countries to fill in the gaps, right?
Probably, yes.
And turn them into tradespeople?
Hopefully some of them, yeah.
Hopefully some of them, yeah. Hopefully.
I mean,
but we're going to have to do something because, and this isn't just in the trades, it's in all industries. And we're going to see in the future, we're going to see crisis. Like right now, the trucking industry.
I know.
If they don't get these things to be run autonomously, we're in trouble because there isn't the I guess there is, because there are new Canadians that are stepping up, and we're getting people from all over that are driving. It's apparent when you look at these drivers. A lot of them look like to be from India. And hey, right on. As here in Alberta, you have to take a program now. You're not just getting a license out of a Cracker Jack box, right? Well, you actually got to prove that there is some competence that you can,
and that's for everybody.
Grind some gears, bro.
Even people born here.
Yeah, absolutely. No, but it's that's right? But it was at a point where if you had a heartbeat and you could sign your name, you were getting a license, right? Yeah. Or the big one was sharing license, because these dudes kind of look alike. They can put 2 or 3 of them, and believe me, this is really big. This was happening. Well, yeah. You would share it, and they would all be under one license, right? Yeah. As a team driving's big, but yeah, it's something that's dying. It's a dying industry for people of Canadians. Nobody really wants to do it because the pay is kind of shitty and the hours suck.
It's funny because I remember an example of that. I don't remember how many years ago, but it was years ago, where where the driving centers are, where you go and 16-year-old kids get their driving test, and then that's where you get your license, or you fail and then you redo it or whatever. like the driving center.
Right.
Some of them were just an office. Some of them were actually like little, like in Ontario, I know they had a couple that were actually like little towns where it was like everything that you could encounter from, parallel parking to stop signs, to yell, like everything you could deal with on a road was in this little tiny driving test center. And there was a guy that got caught because he had done the test for like 50, 60, 70 people. I believe it was like Brampton, Ontario or somewhere in that area. And so there's some truth to what you're saying there. There's been,
right.
I remember seeing it.
And because
And it was just
in
like,
Canada, it's provincial. Every province has different rules and regulations. Some places are easier than others, and we were like super easy. I know I'm a class 1 driver, still have my license, and when I took it, it cost me $4,300 to get my license and take a course, and because you do got to acquire a truck and use it for practicing and for turning around and basically your testing, and so taking a course is good, and it gives you some skills and hopefully weans the bad drivers, and hopefully they're not looking the other way, and because really you can, like, if you ever, I don't know if you've taken an air brakes course, but you can't fail an air brakes course, I'll tell you that. Well, I guess you truly can.
If you don't come back after lunch.
Right, if you don't come back after lunch. Yeah, exactly. But hey, that's...
It's good to have some levels of competency, especially when you're talking about rolling down highways at big speeds.
Right, or running governments.
Or
running governments and basically, working for the people that elected you and not foreign countries or non-government organizations. Like, there is so much treason in this country, bro. It's hard to keep up. And, here we are. It's one of the reasons why we're doing this, to inform and alert people to these acts out there. And, this isn't the first time. It's just, we're just starting to talk about it. The mainstream's talking about it, all of a sudden. And believe me, when they start talking to something as heavy as this, what are they trying to distract you from? And the art of distraction in the media is huge. And, how many times one thing's happening while another thing's going down. So it's out of control, bro. And I find it very, very, very fascinating, really, because it's so dynamic. It's so changing. Like I say, we could do this show daily and never run out of content. It's
incredible the amount of scandal and corruption, and I know it's a heavy word to throw around. Treason is a fucking heavy word.
Treason, and
it's a heavy word, but it's not us.
What was
that's initially saying it?
That's
this
right.
Is security reports.
Yeah, and the people that they're pointing the finger at. Well, I guess we don't know who they're pointing the finger at yet,
know.
Right? Are they on the red team or the blue team? Right?
I don't care.
Or maybe are they on the yellow team?
I don't care.
Maybe they're on all the teams, right?
I don't care if they're all conservatives. Get them out. And I want jail.
So what do you speaking about treason, what do you think about Miss Freeland being the chair of the World Economic Forum? What do you think about that? It in your opinion, is that a conflict of interest of being the deputy prime minister and
so that we penetrate the cabinets,
being a chair? So having two high
because of that,
spots,
everything that we know and a lot that we don't, leads me to, I feel, when these people are working against what seems to be Canada's interests, and they seem to make a lot of bad decisions that don't seem to benefit Canada, and it's time and time again. And they promise to be the most accountable and transparent government. And they've been the worst one that I can recall in my lifetime.
Well,
from the Emergency Act to
the
lost money to the craziness.
Aren't they trying to get a non-disclosure order for the carbon tax review? They're trying to lock that up. They're about as shifty as Pfizer trying to lock up you know,
Well,
the information on that
I think the
medical procedure.
like the PBO officer, Giroux, I think, said like a week or so ago that they had made errors in their, counting of emissions and for that report where the conservatives say 8 out of 10 Canadians are worse off, and then the liberals say 6 out of 10 Canadians are better off. And it's that same report they've been talking about for like a year.
Right.
And then the guys come out and said they made errors and that they had to change some things. But now, if like with the economic part of it, which is what nobody talks about, which is businesses leaving, the entire, like, it's not just, as we've stated before, the carbon tax is not just on the gas pump. It's on every level of everything we buy, from raw materials to farming to manufacturing to transportation, warehousing, multiple times, time and time again. Something could be on a truck or a train or a plane so many times before it gets to its destination.
Oh, that's why.
And people are not factoring that
shipping's
in.
out of control, man.
But if you knew, like, say you're a good, smart young person and you have a great idea, you want to start a business. Are you going to start it in Canada where taxes are high and all the red tape and just, unless it's like some green idea where the government might throw a bunch of money at you?
If it's a green, you're there,
other countries look more promising business-wise when it comes to taxes. The new capital gains thing, like they said, it's not going to affect anyone. The new capital gains tax, where they increased it, I believe, from 50 to 67%. So that means if you sell something of high value, the government gets more money. And that's your second home. That's your
there's a lady.
That's your cottage. That's your whatever.
Yeah, there's a lady who gifted a piece of property to a relative, and because they want like $40,000 in capital gains tax from
and
her, and
she has them. That was on the news.
Oh, did she give it to him?
I think she gifted or gave the property.
That's right, she gifted. That's
but
right.
Then the government taxed her on money she didn't make.
But the equity that it was supposed to be worth, it's like, these guys are out of control, bro.
So
like, I can't.
I know, but
you just can't stop saying that enough, because it is so. It's scandalous, man.
So would you start a business in Canada?
No. No, and nobody's coming to Canada. The only people coming to Canada are the ones the government are bringing, and folks like you and me are looking at ways to get out of here. And unfortunately, the something I heard was Mexico started to deport Americans, and they're starting to send them back because...
Really?
Yeah, you betcha, because there's too many of them fleeing their country, right?
Wow.
Maybe because of Donald Trump, maybe because that place is out of control. I don't know. But that was one of the headlines I wrote. I laughed. And it's funny, too, that they're building a wall, bro. They're building a wall because...
On what side?
On their side.
So on the northern side?
They're buttoning up the holes so that when shit hits the fan over there, and you decide to run away, you can't go that way. You're gonna probably get gunned down. They won't be as lenient as they are that the Americans are right now.
Well, wouldn't it be hilarious? And if I don't know why I just thought this, but for decades and decades, South Americans have been trying to get to America by any means necessary, and some terrible shit they had to go through. And then imagine now, when the shit actually hits the fan, the Mexican government stops everyone from coming south ever again.
Oh yeah, they will.
And the difference is on the on the American side of the border, they're letting them in.
Well, you think you have 300 million people. If things go sideways, civil war, like what's going to happen here with the election coming
don't play it.
No, that's right.
Like they handle business.
That's right.
Where on the other side, they're like worried about feelings and giving people.
Speaking about
Tide Pods,
treason,
whatever kids are doing these days.
Mexicans and elections and.
Whoa! They just got a female.
president, right?
And
For
I
the very
heard
first time.
something like there was only like 30-something assassinations during this election. So it was
in
pretty good.
total,
It was
in
pretty
total, right now,
It was like
was 37 assassinations
just during this election in Mexico.
So 37 runners up all got popped, except for
Really?
the Jewish lady. Yeah,
No, it was runners up that got smoked.
yeah, wasn't?
Oh, shit.
Weren't they all people that were running?
I
in
don't
the
know. I
election?
just heard there was
37 of these
30-something
people that were assassinated,
Wow,
and
that's hardcore.
one was like recently, like the night before the election or something.
It's like
And-
Hunger Games, and the
yeah,
last one's
and,
president or
like
some
I
shit.
don't know who's assassinating him and who's taking him out, but
Well, cartels and different organizations probably.
so
You got your-
but yet yeah, so they agrees with it, right?
So we did make a video a few weeks back about the pandemic treaty, and we did say that we would give you folks a little bit of an update. So we still don't know 100% what the outcome is.
Well, rumor has it that
we've heard conflicting reports that countries had backed out,
right, but
and then we heard in other reports where they had agreed to different things.
yeah, so I don't think Canada has backed out. I think
we're-
we're all in. I think we have been all in right from the get go by what I've read on the website and by what BC just passed a bill there. I think it's C-36, and that outlines the things that they will do, and they're like all in. It's like their extra method. So it's like because
and so on, so that we penetrate the cabinets.
So it's like because our system is provincial, they stepped up and said, yes, provincially, we stand for this. Now, Danielle Smith has not. Scott Moe, the new premier of Manitoba, nobody's saying anything. So we hopefully...
we just wanted to let you guys know that we're still looking into it.
Absolutely.
And we're hearing conflicting reports. So
and with this new disease X or the bird cow flu,
depends how hard they want to push it, I guess.
where does that take us? And,
Maybe nowhere.
Will they be maybe nowhere, and
Maybe chaos.
who knows? We do live in the twilight zone, Kent, and things are changing on a daily basis, and it's hard to keep up. It really is. It really is, and because there's so many things going down, so many.
Well, that's why we're doing the Out of Control show, folks.
Right.
So, Rusty, I just wanted to say thanks once again.
Yeah, thanks,
and,
Ken.
to all you folks, hopefully you're liking what you're seeing and joining in on the conversation. By all means, like, subscribe, and share. We appreciate it. We're just a bunch of Canadian boys trying to talk to Canadian folks.
You betcha. Take care, folks, and have a great night.
Keep sticks on the ice. Peace.